All right, in looking at this problem, the first error that a lot of you made was you didn't follow the order of operations. So if you're looking at your paper and you see that you are taking care of 1/3 and 3/2 first, that was your first error. We need to take care of this part first. We need to do the division first. Okay, so if I follow along with my foldable, I remember that any whole number can be put over 1, and then I need to keep, change, flip. So I keep 3/2, I change that division to multiplication, and I find the reciprocal, or I flip it. So 1 comes on top, 4 comes on the bottom. The negative doesn't have to stick with the 4. The negative, I find it easiest just to put it on top so I don't forget it that's there. Okay, so now I'm going to do this problem. Unfortunately, I can't cross simplify anything. So I'm just going to do 3 times -1, which is -3, 2 times 4, which is 8. So if I kind of reassess, figure out where I am at this point, I still have my 1/3. I still have my minus sign, but I know the answer to this division problem was -3/8. Okay, this was the second error that most of you did. If you weren't careful, you forgot about your signs. There is a minus up here. There is a negative here. We need both of them. And now we can leave, change, opposite. So if you're looking at your answer and you got a negative, that was a mistake, because once you leave, change, opposite, everything turns into positives. What do we need to do when we're adding? We have to find a common denominator. And so the common denominator for 3 and 8 would be 24. So in the first fraction, I multiplied by 8, so I'm going to get 8/24. In the second one, I multiplied by 3, so I'm going to get 9/24. And leave, change, opposite again means that we are going to be adding these. And now my denominator stays the same, and I add 8 plus 9, and I get 17/24. So that was your answer for A. Let's look at B. This was kind of confusing to look at first, but it's basically a big division problem. That's what this bar means. So we're taking 3.5 and we are dividing it by this bottom. Well, remember, this division bar is like a grouping symbol, so we have to figure out what's on the bottom first. So I'm going to leave, change, opposite. Now I want you to think about this. If we have 1 2/3, which is negative, and we're adding -1/3, we obviously will be adding them because the signs are the same. You can put 1 2/3 together with a third. Think about what that would be. 1 2/3 plus a third is 1 3/3, or 1 1/2, which makes -2. Now, if that's confusing to you, no big deal. Let's just go ahead and make this an improper fraction. Okay, so that would be -5/3. This stays at -1/3. When we put those together, we get -6/3, which of course is 2. We just have to make sure we have our negative there. So -2 is what you should have gotten in the bottom. Now we still have 3 1/2, which I can change into an improper fraction as 7/2. So what I really wind up doing is I'm taking 7/2 and dividing it by -2. I'm going to put this whole number over 1. And now at this point, I need to keep, change, flip. 1 comes on top, 2 comes on the bottom, the negative stays up there. I cannot cross simplify anything, So I'm just going to do the numerators. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. 2 times 2 is 4. And that's your answer.